Tom Balassone, Burnout Nationals USA.
Grandpa raced there, then the son raced there. Now the grandkid is racing. You'll settle for excellence. And quite frankly, I don't believe you settle for anything less. We'd like to do a VIP section right now. We're going to still make it affordable, but that VIP ticket is going to get you in early. So
yeah, right here. All right, guys, we haven't done one of these in a while, but we are due. Big Indian Motorsports. We're here. Tom Balassone, Burnout Nationals USA. We've done a lot with you, and and we got a lot more to do. But I got to introduce, of course.
It's your boy Goose. You know what time it is.
And then we got someone, a special guest here. Tom's already very special, but we got someone that normally doesn't do stuff on camera. He likes to be behind the scenes, so bear with him. But we got Eric White, owner and operator of Big Indian and Big Indian Motorsports. So I'm honored. And this is Tom's doing. Tom's a hell of a salesman, got him out here. So
Yeah.
Well,
this is cool.
in my eyes, you're the man, right? So you're what
behind
makes,
the scenes guy.
Yeah, but you're what makes the wheel turn around here, and I can see that, and it's an honor to be sitting next to you, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes,
You've been
sir.
You've been a pleasure to work with.
Oh, well, thank you. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Year
Big,
and a half, 2 years.
Real big on each hand washes the other to grow these two entities together.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And we're happy to always help and open the show or whatever you need me and Gushi to do. But that kind of gets me to my point is like, how did you, first of all, tell us about yourself. What do you do for a living, and how did you get into the love of the automobile?
Love of the automobile. I was a motorcycle guy as a kid.
Okay, cool.
Dirt bikes, and then got my first Harley at 19, yellow red flame 68 Ironhead Sportster.
Oh, nice.
I'm not the tallest guy out there, but I have a big attitude. So tippy toes on that broad boy, and we had some fun on that bike for a few years, and then I was in bikes for a long time. First hot rod was a '79 Corvette.
Ooh. Oh, all right.
I'm a Chevy guy, as you all know, so love the Chevy. '79 Corvette. Some girl texting rear-ended me in that car. I was like sitting at the stoplight, texted me, crunched the car into like a can. So, not only hit me, I hit the guy in front of me, they hit the guy in front of them. It was like a 6-car pileup because this girl couldn't figure it out. And so they totaled that car. And then immediately after that, I got a 54 Chevy.
How long ago was this? So was this fairly recent you got into a car? Because you say she's texting. That was your first hot rod, my friend?
Yeah, you know what? In all honesty, yeah. I was a bike guy, again,
Right.
for a lot of
That's
years. I
crazy.
didn't really
Wow.
get into the cars.
Because you got some cool stuff in your collection currently that I know about.
do. Yeah, I
like
do
you're
have
well
some
cultured,
stuff.
which I appreciate. Like we're all car enthusiasts.
Yes.
Here, Gushi likes Chargers. But no,
Don't slight him for that.
he puts on a show with them.
Oh,
so.
for sure.
But like we're all true car enthusiasts. We kind of love everything. Like you got tell me about your Altima.
I have a 2010 Altima on bags, 3-piece rims on that, full air ride. That's a special car. So that is a 2010 Nissan Altima Coupe.
Yeah,
so
two-door.
it's a two-door, right? Kind of rare. Has a, like a lowering kit on it. That is fully loaded. That's sunroof, air conditioning, full leather, 3.5, 6-speed.
Really?
So yeah, so that's a stick. That's a fun car to drive. I actually taught my daughter how to drive.
That's really cool that it's a stick.
Yeah,
That was going to be my next question, and I wasn't expecting you to say yes because those are kind of oddballs in themselves. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of those.
Yeah.
Maybe because we're up north. I mean, people when they watch this, how often do you see those? Drop a comment.
Now,
but-
is there a huge import culture up here? Because there's a huge import culture down by me.
It's like 50-50, honestly. It's we actually do have a strong mix of everything. Nothing's
Yeah.
really
Well,
strong.
that's something that I like to do at our car show. So this is my 59 Apache here. So all of you know my 58 Apache. That's the bang and grind truck that we use for promotional purposes on the Burnout National Tour. That 59 that was just on the screen a minute ago, that's like Beauty and the Beast. That's on air ride, 454 big block, 700
cool.
R4 tranny. So when I'm on the highway and I want to drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours through a car show, this is the truck that I'm really enjoying a whole lot.
The exhaust coming out the bed's cool. That's a neat touch.
So no bed in that truck. That's completely open, so you can see all the welding. You can see the notched frame. You can see the exhaust and everything that we did on there. We did the big back window conversion on this truck. So it used to have a small back window. Excuse me. We actually cut the entire back of the truck off of the cab while it was painted exactly how it is, and we were able to re-rivet a new panel in. It was a rear panel and an inner panel, outer panel and inner panel. We just X-braced the cab, took the doors off, put the new panels on the back, repainted everything, put the doors back on, and that's how the truck sits now.
That's a gorgeous truck, man. Yeah. That's where I was going with this is like, you're a true car enthusiast. Like, you kind of got it a little like the Altima. You got the old school truck. But like, how did you would you go into car shows, and then like basically where I'm going with this is how did you end up doing burnouts and then trying to make it what it is today?
So you asked me what I do for a living. I'm the chief facilities manager of a heavy highway construction company. We build bridges and tunnels. Currently, we're tunneling under 125th Street in New York City. We are doing all the superstructure reinforcement on the Golden Gate Bridge. The name of that company is Halmar International. The gentleman that owns that company is a bit of a philanthropist. There was a small little racetrack in Orange County, New York, Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. That was going to close. Chris, my boss, he owns a NASCAR truck, so Stuart Friesen's our driver, number 52. He's in the Craftsman Series. He's racing. Got into a little bit of an accident this year, and we had a kid named Honeycutt get behind the wheel. I think we ended up coming second in the points in the NASCAR Truck Series this year. So this track was going to close, Orange County Fair Speedway. They've been struggling. The dirt tracks in this country struggle a little bit. People don't want to come out and spend money anymore. I say all the time, it's just like it's a pond that's been fished out. The fans have a tough time paying so for years these guys were giving the track away for $10 a ticket just to keep the place open. Then a new owner will come in and say, okay, I'm going to turn this place around. I'm going to dump $5 million in this place, and the people are going to come. Well, that's exactly what my boss did. My boss took a 7-year lease there. He dumped millions of dollars into place. We did new grandstands, we did new bathrooms, resurfaced the track several times to make it better for the racer and for the fan experience, and brought in, some NASCAR talent, and the fans still weren't coming out. We had concerts there, so he put me in charge of special operations, right? So special events. I brought in a rodeo, right? So had a rodeo in there, bull riding rodeo, horse rodeo, barrel racing, all sorts of stuff like that.
That's crazy.
To bring a different crowd in. And then while they're there, give them a flyer and say, hey, we're having races here, right? We race, I don't know if you know, but we race every Saturday night, right?
Cool.
And I started the car show and I started the Burnout Nationals the same way. I had paved a pad in the middle of this dirt track. If you know anything about a dirt track, they're made of clay. That's what they race on. And when it rains, if y'all know anything about a clay track, Eric, you'll probably notice even with, digging in the earth and doing some of the stuff you've done in construction, you're getting into cement shoes. The minute you step on that clay on the track, your shoe becomes a part of the track, and now you lift half of the track with you on your next step and another half of the track on your next step. So we paved an area in the middle of the track. So when I had Toby Keith there and I had Brantley Gilbert there, we were able for that high-end ticket to not have to stand in the mud or sit in the mud. It was a nice dry area. If there was a little weather that came through, at least they could enjoy the show without taking half the track home with them. Mm-hmm. Okay? We were only doing concerts once a month. So I said to the boss, you know what, boss? I want to do a car show here. We got races on Saturday nights. You got concerts on Fridays once a month. Really not a lot going on. We were doing a rodeo once a year. There's 7 days in a week. Let's do something else, right? I wanted him to be successful. I wanted, the place to turn around. I wanted to get more people in. And I truly believe if you diversify, just like diversifying a portfolio in the stock market, mm-hmm. if you have an event space, right, like Big Indian Drift Pit, you have to kind of diversify that. You guys do that with burnout comps. You do it with your drifting events. You do it with all the different things you do here, and you guys have a template for success. For years to come, you guys are going to do great here because you think outside the box. What else can we do to get a different fan through the gate? Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps being, like, you're a fan. I mean, we're all fans
Hugely.
here. And that's, like, I think that's why it's, because this is hard what we're doing, but I feel like things are coming together for guys like us relatively quickly. I mean, Big Indian Drift Pit in motorsports has been around about 4 years.
Yeah.
How long has Burnout Nationals been around?
Yes, so we're in our 5th year. We started in 2020.
Beautiful.
So, pandemic, as soon as they kind of opened up the pandemic and we got through the pandemic, it was really 2021 is kind of when the brand birthed. And it really just birthed out of that little pad in the middle. It was a 100 by 200 pad that we were using in the middle of the track for concert seating.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was it.
Yeah, I never knew that.
And then I said to the boss, I said, you know what? I want to do a car show. We had our first car show. It was like a May show. I had 800 people show up. So everybody was blown away that I'm almost getting more people in first time out. I'm almost getting more people through the door than the races were getting, because the racing crowd was really, fans. Just the turnout really wasn't great.
It's hard to relate to. That's why.
Yes. So yeah, exactly. Right. So and it's a lot of that's generational, right? So grandpa raced there, then the son raced there. Now the grandkid is racing there, right? And maybe grandpa's not even around anymore. And the new kids that are out there, right? You're competing with their phone. You're trying to compete with their attention with their phone. So they don't want to go to the races with mom and pop and grandpa, right? They'd rather sit on the couch at home and just play video games or play on their phone rather than be at a live entertainment. And it's up to us guys, and I think we do a hell of a job to turn that around.
Yep.
And that's through, right? You have to beat them at their own game. Now it's through social media, right? It's all about how many people can I get in front of on social media to show them the burnouts and the drifting
and this is fun,
and the car crushing and the crowds, right? And we do Power Wheel races for the kids. We do a lot of advertising on TV because I believe we're very visual. And what I want little Johnny, who's getting watched by grandma and grandpa, while mom and dad, that dual income house, has to go to work. Usually the kids will get dropped off, the grandkids will get dropped off at the grandparents. The grandparents are watching Channel 12 News, right? They want to know who's in trouble in the neighborhood, who's getting in trouble, who got arrested, what the weather is going to be like this week, when the Christmas tree lighting is. They're getting all that on Channel 12 News. So what I do is I'll take a 15-second commercial on Channel 12 News when we're getting ready to have an event. 2 weeks before, I get that right on their Channel 12 News, 15-second commercial. It shows one of my guys doing a burnout. It shows the crowd. It shows the Power Wheel races, right? Kids under 12 are free, which is, a great accolade for these parents that, they're all struggling, trying to make a living, and whatever they're going to spend their money on, they want to be able to spend it on something that's entertainment. We're cheaper than a movie. So, the adults are usually $25, $30, depending on what show we're doing and what market we're in. Little Johnny's free, and now they can bring their cousins and have a family outing for cheaper than going to a movie.
Absolutely.
So we started with the car show, 800 people through the gates. Now we're competing with the races, and I said to him, you know what? We got that pad down there. I want to do something. I want more. I don't want 800 people. I want 1,000. I want 2,000. I want 5,000, right? So I said, I want to do a $5,000 burnout comp. I want to give away real money. And when I named the brand Burnout Nationals, my vision was nationals. Like I could have just named it Burnout Comp, Middletown, whatever. I used the name Nationals because the sky's the limit. I'm not sitting in one place. We're gonna travel with this brand. We're gonna go all over the country.
Absolutely.
Quite frankly, we're gonna go all over the world. You know what I mean? I'd love to do something in Europe in the next couple of years. I have some friends out there, talking with them. There's a huge car community out there, and nobody really doing what we're doing. So
What made you think of Burnout Comp?
I wanted to do something different. It's a great question. I wanted to do something different. Everybody does burnouts in the streets, and the first thing they see behind them is the lights, and now they're getting arrested, and now their car is getting impounded, right? So as the people are leaving this first car show I ever had, 800 people. We had 250 cars, you know what I mean? A couple hundred people spectating. As they're leaving, what are they all doing?
All burnout.
They're all doing burnouts up the block.
That's the same thing that we went through at Big Indian. We started out with car shows.
Yes.
Everybody would go on the street and burn out, and I was like,
And he'd get it. And I remember I came to a few of his cruise nights. He had a pretty good crowd. I mean, he had a very successful cruise night, but he had a pretty good crowd right out at the street just for the burnouts,
You go to any of these events that we're doing stuff at now, whether it's Syracuse Nationals or Daytona Turkey Rod Run, when I come in, I solve a problem, right? So I can go to the promoter and I could say, hey, you guys have a problem here. People are doing burnouts in the street. Eventually, we don't hope it happens, but something happens where someone gets stupid, they get loose, they run into a pole rather than, something else. And then they want to shut down the show. Right now, the city's involved, the mayor's involved, and all these other people are involved.
And they need to make an example out of people.
So Burnout Nationals will come in, and I will be your problem solver. I'm gonna solve the problem. I carry my own insurance, which a lot of places don't. A lot of these, smaller, there's a burnout comp on every corner nowadays, right? And there's some legitimate ones out there, and then there's some guys just doing stuff in parking lots. And I gotta say, I wish the best for everybody. I want everybody to be successful no matter who it is. There's strength in numbers. Look at Steve handing out T-shirts there. Look at him. Great. And this was you guys were at this one, and you guys have been really helping me out with the live streams and all of the video work that you guys have been doing, and really kind of, being our warm-up. You two guys are great at what you do with the drifting stuff and trying to get the crowd pumped. This was a great show right here. We had close to 4,000 people at this.
Oh, man.
This was at New Smyrna Beach, down in Daytona, just on the other side of Daytona. And we had some fun, and people really showed out for this one. Next year is going to be bigger and better. Next year we're going to do, at the New Smyrna show, we're going to do a VIP section. So, the biggest thing was, hey, I don't want to stand. I mean, you can see there's 1,000 people in the stands in the back. They're 300 feet away. You know what I mean? So we're going to get the Megatron. We had a big screen on the stage. I feel it's not big enough, so I want to double that size. I think that was 7 or 8 by 12. So next year I want to be 16 by 24. You know what I mean? I want the people in the stands to feel that they're right on top of the action. Here's another great thing that, Eric and I kind of collaborated on.
Yes.
He says to me, I want to get this camera. It's so much money. I'd love to get it. I said, well, I'm in. Put me in for 50%. Let's get the equipment that we need, because I want the fan experience to be just as good as the driver experience.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, the drivers.
And Tom's a man of his word. He came right through with everything he said to us today.
Oh, well,
It's been great dealing with him. That's why I'm 100% behind him.
I was raised by a heavy-handed Italian gentleman. My mom was the Irish side of the family. My dad was an Italian guy, and he was raised by a heavy-handed bricklayer, and my dad was a little heavy-handed, and when I screwed up, I got, sorted.
I can relate to that.
We could just say I got sorted, right? So there's a right and a wrong in my dad's world, and there was a very fine line what was right and wrong, and sometimes when I screwed up, he made sure that it was only going to be once.
I do that with Gushi sometimes.
Well, sometimes
that's
listen.
a good thing, though. It's a good thing.
No.
You earn. You learn respect. You learn to respect them. You learn a little bit of fear too.
Not only everybody wants to.
This is turning into a Dr. Phil podcast.
Yeah.
Well, it could.
I know. I was going to try to keep us on track.
No. But no. At the end of the day, there is, and it's made me the man that I am today.
Absolutely.
So I was taught that be a man of your word. What you say, you're going to do. Right? So if you say, hey, I'm going to give you a hand on Saturday with your car, I'll be there at 8 o'clock, right? You can count on me to be there at 8 o'clock, Gush.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have friends, and Eric, you might have friends, and Gush and Steve, you might have friends that say, hey, man, I need your help Saturday, and they go, 150%, I'm going to be there. I'll see you at Saturday, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Then you call them, hey, dude, all I need you to do at this point is help me pull the motor out. Like, I've done everything else. Can you get, over
XYZ,
here?
yeah.
Can you get over here to give me a hand?
And at the end of the day, all this stuff boils down to when we're traveling across the country, we want to make sure everything's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the bottom line. I can
For
count
sure.
on him knowing that's going to be right.
Yes. And at the end of the day, and listen, I strive for perfection.
Absolutely.
I am a perfectionist. My daughter will tell you that. My wife will tell you that. Everybody will tell you that. I am, even my team, I want everything to be perfect. You know what I'll settle for? I'll settle for excellence.
Yeah.
If everything is excellent, I can deal with it not being perfect. And Eric, kudos to you because you're a lot like me. You strive for perfection, you'll settle for excellence. And quite frankly, I don't believe you settle for anything less. and I believe that's why your brand is as successful as it is because you want to be the best at what you do. You want to be the best live stream out there. You want to be the best podcast out there. You want to be the best fabricator out there. And you're very successful at what you do.
And we're doing what we can with the money that we generate too. So,
well, 100%.
And once we, it's going to be nonstop once we start making it some money at this.
Absolutely.
And I do say this.
We'll bring the customer the best live stream.
The best shows possible.
Oh, for sure.
Like bring people. A lot of these racetracks are in a dark place right now. So
yeah,
we as like what we all do, like it's fun, it's work, but at the end of the day, like it's like to keep a passion alive that we all care about, which was like going to shows, going to car shows, going to the races as a kid. Like that's a big part of my life. So contributing to like what we're doing at the Drift Pit and what you did with that track is just like the genuine motorsports like hobby, like passing it down to generations.
And I feel that this Burnout shows are on like very forefront of it, are like in the beginning stages of it. I feel
absolutely,
like
especially here. Yeah, I mean, Australia's been doing this for what 30 years.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, this is still very young over here, and it's already exploded in the last decade. Look at what we've seen. I remember in the 90s.
It's not even decade. It's literally the last 5 years.
Right.
So when
5
I
years.
started, I think Cletus started in 2020. I started in like 2021. You know what I mean? And I had never seen his stuff before. Somebody had showed me some stuff on Summer Nats, and that's when I said, that's cool. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And just to circle back, that's how we started the Burnout Comp. I said to the boss, listen, I want to do a $5,000 Burnout Comp. And he said to me, how am I getting my money back? So valid
Right.
question from a guy that's paying all the money out, right? And sure, you have questions like that too. And as a promoter now, I also say, how am I going to get my money back, right? I'm going to lay out 60, 70 grand to put on these events. How am I getting that 60, 70 grand back? So my answer was a quick answer to him because I had to come up with the answer. I said, what if I had 50 drivers in the Burnout Comp and I charged them all $100 a piece to win $5 grand? He says, done. Have your first show. Have at it. And we made money that show, and he actually gave me, out of the money we made at that show, I'll never forget it, he gave me $8,000 as a bonus, and I bought my 58 Apache with that $8 grand.
Oh, cool.
That's
That's
nice.
neat.
I told him, matter of fact, I said, hey, we did pretty good. I need a promotional vehicle. Now I have this Burnout competition going, and it was successful. I need something that's branded Burnout Nationals. How much do you need? I said, there's this truck up in Lowell, Mass. I'd like to buy. What's it worth? I said, it's $8 grand. He says, done. Handed me the money. I went up there twice for that truck, actually. I drove 6 hours for that truck. I got there. The guy's ad said, I have 2 58 Apaches. Pick which one you want. One was a fleet side and one was the step side I own now. And I drove all the way up there and I said, you get there, the step side was outside. It's all crusty, nothing was bolted on. It was just like a pile of parts, right? And then he has the other 59 in boxes, all in filler primer, labeled in boxes in the garage, but it was behind a ton of stuff. He never anticipated selling me that truck anyways. He says, I want to say this one. I said, but you told me I could have either for $8 grand. What are we doing here? I'm sorry, you could only have that one. I walked around the truck like 4 times, and I was in love with the truck. But I said, I just can't give you $8 grand for this. I got to walk.
Right.
I drove back 6 hours, and then you saw the picture of my 59.
Right.
I found that 59 online. Like 2 weeks later, I bought it, and as soon as that truck got in my driveway, I said, well, I can't do burnouts with this, but you know what I could do burnouts with? I could do burnouts with that truck up in Lowell, Mass. And I called him back, and I said, I'm going to come back for the truck. But I can't give you the $9 or $8 grand or whatever you were asking for. I think I ended up paying like $6,500 for
There
the
you
truck.
go.
I
Yeah.
drove back a second time. He gave me some gas money, and and the truck is the truck has a bit of history with me now, and that truck will never leave it.
And that truck's on the
That's awesome.
street, right?
Yeah. So again, I find success in promoting. right?
Absolutely,
If no one knows about the show, guys, there's no way they can come and buy that ticket and see what we're doing, because what we're doing is different than anything else out there. And I don't care what anybody says. You see a lot of these burnout competitions popping up at car shows all over the place, and it's a little static burnout, or it's like maybe a 30-foot run in the back of a parking lot surrounded by trees, and it's very tame. And
Hey, Paul, can you cut to the burnout where Tommy's burning out on the hill real quick?
Oh,
Were you able to get that on there
No.
on Instagram?
Hang on.
So that goes to a great show. So
Yeah.
because we're doing something different, a testament to you guys, because we came up at your closer. The entire competition team came up.
That's right.
And we'll get into those guys in a minute. Competition team came up. They said, "Oh, Big Indian's having something. Let's go." And we get up here, and it poured on us all day. Right? It wasn't even like no, that's not true. You had your car show and your trunk or treat in the morning, and the sun was shining down.
Oh, dude,
and
the first hour of the show was beautiful.
And it was a little windy, and it was like nice, and the kids were here.
Go.
And then,
This is probably one of the epic shots that we got
so
there.
this is the 58 Apache that I ended up picking up there in Lowell, Mass for $6,500, and there's a little crab walk we got going on right there after we blow the tires.
Just keep it moving.
Yeah, for sure. The truck has a mind of its own sometimes. I mean, Kush and Steve, you guys can testify to that.
Sometimes they don't go where you want them to.
Sometimes if you could be turning hard left, and that truck is going to go hard right. But you know what? That's what makes us have the fun and keeps it interesting for us, because no two runs in any burnout pit are the same.
No, people, and that's the thing is, I love that now. A few years ago, you heard it pretty common. More from the older crowd, but like, how is that a competition? How do they do this? How do they do that? And now people come out to our shows, your shows, and especially Syracuse Nationals. I brought a friend's dad with. And it blows their minds. If you've never been to either one of our shows, come check it out. If you're a car enthusiast, you're gonna see some incredible stuff. We guarantee it.
Yeah,
we guarantee it. And it's just cool to see how the sport is grown and what it's doing, because that's not easy to do, to get out there for 2 minutes straight.
No, and again, that we have rules, right? And not a lot of people know about the rules.
Right.
So, you get judged on your tip in, right? That's the time you start your tires to spin until you get out in the middle of the pit from that first fluid movement, right? That first little stop or hitch, that's 0 to 20 points. You get 0 to 20 points on how much of that pit you use. And to us, every pit is different.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
We were out at SEMA, guys. Right, SEMA. That was like the size of a nickel. Right. That was just like that pit was the size of a nickel. The Hoonigan pit. With Burnout Wars out there, we'll give a shout out to those guys.
Hell yeah.
That pit was the size of a nickel, and you had to go out there and do your stuff.
Make it happen.
There was some carnage out there, right? I mean, it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? So then you go to a different pit, like what I do in New Smyrna, where it's oblong, and it's not 4 corners. I have 5 corners in that pit. You guys do something that no one does in the past couple of times I've been here. You guys are on a hill, like not a small hill, like 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
And it takes some talent to kind of maneuver around that facility.
We had one of your drivers that's a very good driver get stuck on that hill.
Yeah.
And that's what we're after. And coming down off that hill, it can really throw you into that far wall.
It'll throw you off in a lot of different ways.
Listen, it's what I'm going to say is it's very intimidating, because as you're watching as a driver, the first couple of guys go out, they get to the top of that hill, and then they start going to that lateral spin going down the hill. You don't think they're going to be able to stop. But for whatever reason, when you get down to the crest, all of a sudden you start to get some grip, and then you're able to finish off what you're doing. So
I love it, man. It was just about adding an extra element to the thing, and it really challenges any driver. It doesn't matter if you've been doing burnouts for 20 years. If you come over here, that thing could throw you off in the matter of seconds. So it was
for sure
definitely sick to add it.
There's the New Smyrna track from a really nice aerial view.
Yeah. And that was
That was a riot.
next level show. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really good. The crowd's energy was great. The music was good.
That was your first time that it's a New Smyrna, correct?
So we
That
did
was
second
awesome
time.
show.
So
Wasn't that your second show?
we did something in New Smyrna with an import car club.
Okay.
There was maybe 600 people there. I wasn't in charge of the promotions. I wasn't in charge of the media. I was just hey guy, would you do this for me? I knew I wanted to get into that track. So I knew that I wanted to do something in New Smyrna. I knew in the back of my head that the Daytona Turkey Rod Run was the people I wanted to work with, and they've been great. Like at first when I approached the Rod Run about my idea, it was a hard no.
Right.
Nope,
Usually.
not interested. We don't do burnouts. We have our own nighttime program. There's a little car show outside. We're not interested in you. You bring nothing. Basically, flat out, you bring nothing to us to the table that interests us in any way, shape, or form. Last year, I think in the fall, there might have been an accident out on the street with somebody doing a burnout. Mindset change, right? Wait a minute. You can get, the guys that are a little rambunctious out in the street to a safe facility, not 18 minutes down the road, and you're going to give away some money, and you'll help us promote that, and we'll help you promote that. It was a win-win for both. And they really did help me promote. They gave me, I came on as a sponsor to that show. I took I think 100 feet of space. We brought our blow-up guy out there. We brought the tent out there.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo, right? So with the Burnout National shirt on, we brought a couple of Burnout cars there, and people love that. When we're promoting at a show like that, and so that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Here's something as a promoter you can appreciate. Wednesday night, I had less than $3,000 in tickets sold. I had $70,000 out for that show.
Jeez.
I was $67,000 in the red Wednesday night, and my daughter will attest to this. Thanksgiving Day, Friday, and Saturday at the Rod Run, we sold like 2,000 tickets.
Oh, awesome.
And then on top of that, we had like almost a 2,000 walk-up. Like it was, because the only money I had in the coffers at the time were burnout guys signing up. You know what I mean? I think we charged $75 and however many guys they had, plus maybe their pit crew or whatever it is. And I got to be completely honest with you. I was never worried. I knew that if I was we had the TV set up at the Rod Run, and people would walk by. Burnout Nationals, you got Johnny Bravo there, who's 10 feet in the air, and they see the burnout trucks, and every once in a while, I'd have either me or Dave Schaller get into the burnout truck, rev up the motor. Right, I got those open headers and the zoomies on there.
Yeah.
And that, right away, you do that, you're going to have 100 people in front of the truck. And what's Burnout Nationals? And I'm handing out pieces of paper.
Perfect.
Like
Yeah.
complete like guerrilla marketing. Here's a piece of paper. Here's the schedule on the back. When you're not doing anything tomorrow night, we're
Get
we're
here.
the show. And sure enough, 4,000 came out, and luckily we turned the corner, and we just about made some money at that show. And as a promoter. Not always about the money.
Nope.
It's about having a successful brand, and it's almost like marketing, Eric, right? So sometimes it costs you to put the big Indian name on something, but if that's going to get you to that next level and the next level of awareness, it's probably worth every dime that you spend.
I think after that show, though, I feel there's going to be maybe twice as many people.
I think it's a double.
I think it was such a
Everybody
great
see-
show.
it was
people
great.
walked away
Happy.
excited.
Good vibe. Everybody in the pits was.
No, it was great.
A lot
Yeah.
of people coming up, talking to all the drivers, me and Gushi. Like, it was just like good vibes. Like, it was a good time. Everybody was happy.
And we want to expand on that. So what I'd love to do next year is we only brought in 300 seats for that. There was a lot of standing people. We'd like to do a VIP section right now. We're going to juice that ticket a little bit. We're going to still make it affordable, but that VIP ticket is going to get you in early. So instead of a 4 o'clock roll-in, you're going to get a 2 o'clock roll-in. You're going to have a separate bar. You're going to have a separate area for food, right? You're going to get a lanyard. And what I'd love to do for those people at 3 o'clock, why not do a meet and greet with the drivers? So whatever drivers are there are standing in front of your car with a table. Maybe there's posters made up of Big Indian Motorsports. Maybe there's Burnout National, Turkey Rod Run posters, and the drivers can individually sign those, and maybe each driver could have a sticker, right? So they could throw their sticker on the poster, right? Little tiny 3-inch sticker, neighborhood
that'd be
nuisance.
great.
Throw that right on the poster, and then sign over their own sticker. And I think that that's next level. And now you're bringing the NASCAR atmosphere. Now, NASCAR has a template for success, right? They've been doing it for years, and they say there's a bit of talent that goes into making left turns all day.
I think so.
When you have to make a left and a right, and you're in the smoke, and you don't know where you are, and you're either going to sacrifice your front end or your
we've
rear
seen
quarter
it
panel now and then.
every show I have every legit burnout show I've been to, man, there's casualties. Cars don't leave. We had the Mustang in
Carnage.
Syracuse. Yeah, we had that red Chevy truck. That red Chevy truck will live to drive another day.
For sure.
in
And that
New
was a nice
Smyrna.
truck. The
Yeah.
Mustang in Syracuse, man.
That was a
That
nice
was
Mustang,
horrible.
honestly.
That was
Sure.
a very good looking car.
Really nice car.
It was really
and I
nice.
think that got us 1 million views, right? Him
Something
just a
around
little
there.
tap in
Pretty
the
good,
wall
yeah.
right there. Was like,
Dude, I felt
Can you
bad.
cut to that Mustang crash, Paul? Because that'd be great to have on the.
I
you know
wonder
what
if he
I think
has
we got
it
like
in
1.5
here.
million views on that, Gush, right?
I can't remember, but that
It's
is
up there.
It's on Instagram somewhere.
For sure.
So
Instagram.
I was filming the guy, and
Do we have it on here?
I just filmed his
don't
whole
think so.
run just because I'm a car enthusiast, but like when it comes to like drifting and stuff, Mustangs are my go-to for now. But anywho, I was just filming the run for the hell of it, just to
Oh,
maybe
we do
use in a
have it.
montage.
I remember.
And then I just filmed right up until he left the pit. Then it happened right in front of me.
I'll never forget your commentary. Oh!
There it is, right here.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I feel so bad for this guy. This is such a clean car.
Yeah, really clean.
Not a beater stand
I mean,
at all.
What's a Mustang like that worth, Steve-O?
So black GT drop top. I mean, dude, right now probably, and depending on the mileage,
And that was a
$8,500.
Roush car, right?
I don't know if there's a Roush. I'll see in a second. It just looks like a drop top GT, but it's a stick.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like it's got nice wheels on it. I mean, dude, every bit of probably $9,000,
Yeah.
$8,500. If it's got nice,
It's worth at least a nickel now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's probably got to straighten back out, but that was definitely a bummer.
You hate to see that. Like you love it, but you hate it.
Now, those
the
are
crowd loves it, but
Oh, for
oof.
sure. Well, I mean, listen. At the end of the day,
And this is what I love. Like I love this guy's. Like this is actually the guy. This is our clientele at these shows. Like this dude would have been probably swinging it somewhere after the Syracuse Nationals. We want people to come out, even if you're not gonna compete. Come party.
Oh, for sure.
Come drive,
Yeah.
dude. I don't care if you do a straight line burnout, if you swing it. But yeah, right here. Oh,
Oh man, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
man, that makes me sick though.
Camera person didn't even flinch right there. So you that was pretty good.
I immediately looked over at Eric. I'm like, dude, I got that whole thing on camera, and he's
Yeah.
like, post it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
dude,
sure.
I don't know if I should. And he's like, if it was anybody, if it was you, they would post
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
If it was you, they would. And I was like,
They-
he's right.
Look at that.
They do.
Man. Look at that rear. Maybe he just busted the rear there.
And see,
made a little body
that's
panel work.
that's just some of the extra like entertainment you get with these awesome shows.
You get such cool vehicles at burnout comps too.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
I love the culture of it. They're always the weirdest, craziest, cool builds.
Yeah.
And one of the things we learned from Tom is to banner everything. He told us that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Put it across your car.
I think when I met you, you didn't even have your car.
It was all black at the
It
time.
was all black, and
Yeah.
I said to Gush, I said, "You got big Indians got to be on the side of that thing as
Next
big
week-
as you can
next
make
week it was on
And
there.
now the car is iconic anywhere you go. You know what I mean? Especially with the new wrap that you did. I mean, people know the car. If you're just a black Charger, you could be one of
Blend
a
in.
million people.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Now there's a one-off. That's Gushy. Everybody knows who you are now.
I know.
For sure.
So
That is
how
good.
how did your team come about? Not to interrupt, but now I just see oh my god,
Billy.
having a brand Billy pulling up here. How did you guys? Because I remember seeing him down at Cletus and
Cletus.
stuff before too. So
Yeah.
how did the team come together and link up?
So, Billy, Randy, a couple other guys were with me from the get-go. Now, when Billy started, that Napa truck, if I'm not mistaken, had a 4-cylinder in it. Like it was, I don't want to say it bad, but it was like struggling to watch, right? These guys, I was doing one show a month. So we were starting in April, May, June, July, September, October. I'd have my closer in October, and what I did the first year was you had to make 5 events. You got to build the brand internally, right? So you got to make 5 events to enter the $5,000 competition at the end of the year. So that was like how we kind of promoted it. And what that does is it forces the drivers not only to get there and qualify, they have to practice, right? They're getting seat time, right? And Billy and Randy and a bunch of other guys were there from the beginning, the very beginning, and they got better and better and better. And then by themselves, they started going to Cletus. It was only me and Cletus at the time. There wasn't a Burnout Wars. There wasn't, LS Fest. I don't even think was around yet. And a lot of these other, Burnout competitions, just weren't happening. Or if they were happening, no one was aware of them.
They were small town things.
Small town stuff, right? So they started traveling to Cletus, and they said to me, "You have to come." And I go, "Well, what's down there that's any different? It's you got to come with us. Come, we have fun. We go down. We bring the families. Come down and hang out with us, right?" So now it was me, Billy, Randy, and maybe like 2 other guys, and we all walked down, and we all had the Burnout Nationals stuff on. And if I'm going to go, we should go in as a team. Let's go in as a team, right? So I think the first one we went down with like 5 guys, and then it grew to 6 guys, and then it grew to 7 guys, and Billy's wife got involved, and so then all of a sudden we had a bunch of guys on the team, probably like 12, but there was really only a core 8 that would make every show, right? And then we would pick up people on the way, and the way we pick up people is if you come to a bunch of my shows, or we see you at every show, and you're kind of a lone wolf sitting there, but you're at every show and you're putting the time and the effort in, and every time your car is looking better, and now all of a sudden you have those zoomies, or you have that new exhaust, and you're spending the time, the money, and the effort, well, that's the kind of person I want on my team, right? So then we would just ask, like Michael Gifford, we picked up Michael Gifford, Gifted Garage. We picked him up in Michigan. Like, he was all of a sudden at a couple of shows before that with us, parking next to us, you know what I mean? Like always the New York guys. He's from Massachusetts, or I'll say the Northeast guys, like it would be us, Connecticut and Massachusetts. And Michael all of a sudden was just right there, and he was always hanging with us, and you know what I mean, always parked next to us. And I just said to him one day, I said, "Yo, man, I got a sticker for that truck if you want to join the crew." You know what I mean? And it was more of a crew at that time than it was a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's coordinate travel. We weren't even staying together at the time. You know what I mean? Like now we go on the road. I try to get a big enough Airbnb. I can't pick up all the bills, but I will pick up all the food, right? So, they're there. I'm picking up all the meals, whether it's at the Airbnb, whether it's at the restaurants or whatever it is. I'm going to pick up all the meals for the team to try to ease their pocket, right? But I will try to help them with the Airbnb, where I'll pick up, 50% of that, you know what I mean, to try to ease their pain. Because when you're all getting your own hotel room and it's $250 a night, and now you have to be there for 2 days, that's
right.
$500 per hotel room, and you have 6 of those, now you're spending $3,000, right? So why don't I try to go find an Airbnb for $2,000 or $2,500? I'll try to pick up half of that, and then all of a sudden your 500 just became 150 or 250,
right? Just
to ease the pain on the guys on the team, right? And eventually, with sponsorship help, again, we were all just out at SEMA. We made some really good connections out there, and then followed up at PRI. So now, the brand is a distributor of Speedmaster. So Speedmaster sells blowers and heads and all sorts of performance parts, carriers. We're now a distributor of them. And from distributing those parts, that little bit of a percentage that we're going to be able to make doing that, I'm going to try to get back to the team. You know what I mean? Eventually, I would love to, and again, I try to speak it into fruition, right?
Oh, there he is.
I'd love to be able to, that's Brett Blankenship. In this C10. His wife, Bridget, also runs a C10. She's got a blue C10.
Yeah, those two are really cool.
Yeah,
together.
My homies.
Yeah, very.
Love those guys.
Absolutely,
Really
Brett and Bridget Blankenship, very good people. Hung out with them the whole time at PRI. Matter of fact, they helped me and Randy went out. We had an Airbnb not too far from the convention center, but I didn't want to rent the truck because I didn't want to have to pay for parking every day, and I didn't want to have to. So they ended up driving out there, and they were like, "Dude, whatever you need, you got to get back to your Airbnb, or you're going to dinner tonight. Or you have a meeting." We had a meeting dinner with Speedmaster, and we went out with you guys one night to was it the Red Lion?
Oh, something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Red
the
Lion.
red something. Red Lion. What was
Red Lion.
that?
Shout
Red
it-
Lion.
It was it?
Red Lion.
Red Lion. So Red Lion was like an English pub where, wasn't the fanciest place in the world. The wings were banging.
Wings were
Because you
good,
you
dude.
guys being from
And
Buffalo.
and I think Steve got a hamburger with peanut butter on it. It was
I got a
the steak.
jalapeno bacon cheeseburger with peanut butter on it, and it was a mess, but it was delicious with some ice cold Miller Lights. It hit the spot.
Yep. And then I believe
Brooke.
shrimp. Somebody had shrimp. So Brooke.
Brooke Hawkins, Batty Garage.
Brooke Hawkins, Batty Garage,
Oh, God.
decided,
What did she get?
decided that it would be a good idea to order a espresso martini in the biggest dive bar in Indianapolis. It didn't work out well for her. But
No,
the wings,
shout out
the
Brooke,
wings, shout out to Brooke. The wings were great, and some of the food was good. And if you're looking for a good time, you can
Yeah,
stop
that was
by.
fun, man. That
I
was
would
fun.
imagine you could probably drink there until 4 in the morning and spill more than you actually drink.
All the servers there were great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's the
what
fun
makes
part.
The place so much better.
Going around, I mean, we've all, and we're not going to turn this into a gossip column, but I got to say, man, between the Aussies, the Burnout Nationals crew, like, I just seem to have more fun with, like, the Burnout crowd, and that's a different podcast, but, man, we went to a few drifting meetups. We just had more fun hanging with the Burnout Nationals guys. Randy's great to me, man.
I told you so.
Yeah.
I knew that would happen.
So
Randy's a great guy. I mean,
So
can't,
Randy Torres is now our public relations guy because Randy will hang out with anybody from out of town and make sure that they're comfortable. And if they need a place to stay, we're going to make sure they have a place to stay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Try to just help them out doing that. Billy is now our sponsorship guy. Again, these are the guys that have been with me from the beginning, and they want to see this. Like, quite frankly, them being a part of the brand is just making the brand that much better. And quite frankly, they are just as much of the Burnout Nationals as I am. I'm just a guy that's out there trying to do something cool for a bunch of my cool friends.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it without guys like Eric and Gush and Steve and
Likewise.
and my
Likewise.
daughter and Paul and Kayla and everybody that's really a part of the show that no one really knows is a part of the show.
Right.
And Billy and Randy and even, Gifford and Dave Schaller, we all help each other out as much as we can, even like getting my truck. I try to, I have the day job like a lot of other people do, but my day job demands some hours, and so I'll sometimes fly in and out of an event to where the other guys might be able to be afforded some time off, to where now my truck is on their, trailer. Dave took my truck from Connecticut to SEMA to Texas to Bradenton, Florida to New Smyrna. Like, my truck was, on his trailer for a month, and we wouldn't be able to do it, without each other. It's very difficult.
I think that's why all of us kind of like mesh together. And we got to get Randy in here. We got to get Jacob Damn Chamberlain in here.
Oh, for sure,
That kid's
man.
a beast. I love him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
just because like we're all kind of chasing the same goal, and you'll find out not every business relationship works out, but like this is just a nice thing to come together and come down here, scarf some chicken sandwiches, and get on here and chat for a little bit.
We want everybody to be better, and that's not only on. So, like the Burnout National team, we're the team that you can walk up to and say, "Hey, what are you? I see you're getting great wheel speed, and I just pulled my dad's truck out of the weeds on the farm, and it's got an LS in it. And how do I get it to the next level, or how do I
Right.
get to be, your truck, or Gushy, how do I get to my Charger to be your level? I mean, other than putting an LS in it or something like
Oh,
that.
my God.
But yeah, so all joking aside, we want everybody to be better. And, that's why we kind of partnered up with Speedmaster, too. I want to be able to get these guys in the drivers' meetings, these young kids that are just adolescent, and they're the next generation, right? So they're the kids that are going to make this thing continue and last for 20, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? A lifetime, quite frankly. for some of
Absolutely.
us,
That's really the end game, is just, while we're here for a little while, and maybe make a little cash, but like I love doing the shows. I love
Yeah,
our
I've been
Thursday shows. Everything.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been brought to tears at my own show after you
Yeah.
put in all that work and all that dedication, then you get out there and everything just works accordingly, and there's everybody's having
Thousands
a
of
good time.
auto
This makes
enthusiasts leave
makes
smiling.
you feel unreal
You
inside.
guys are a testament where you guys probably had 2,000 people in the pouring rain at your closer.
Dude, that show.
And they didn't move.
Yeah,
No.
they were.
In the freezing cold.
Yeah,
rain.
it was 30 degrees, like nonstop pouring rain. I had my race suit on, and it literally rained through my race suit. And once we kicked off the competition, I wouldn't want to say I'm begging, but I'm just like pleading with people, like, hey, just hold on out. Like, you guys are gonna enjoy this show. It's
Yeah.
gonna be worth it. And then the show kicked off, and
Yeah.
still looking around, there was literally people everywhere, and
Yes.
it brought tears to my eyes. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe people like will stay through all this just to enjoy what we do, what we love.
One thing I'd love to learn and try to figure out is
A rollback.
no, absolutely not. Not driving a Mustang for sure, and not a rollback in a Mustang. No offense, Steve. No, I'd actually love to learn how to drift, and I know you guys have all the things to do that. So I'd love to come up a weekend and no stress, no competition, no thing. Just
2026 is
pri-
the year for you, brother.
private weekend. I'd love
Oh,
to get
dude,
in. I'd
come
love
play.
to learn how to use that handbrake, and because I'd love
say
to.
less.
Because there's a lot of crossover
Definitely.
between drifting and between burnouts, right?
100%.
The only difference is I think the burnout cars have a little more horsepower, or if they don't have more horsepower, because you guys on a drift, you need some grip, right?
Yeah.
As to
an
where
extent,
burnout
yeah.
guys don't.
Well, so a prime example of that was we went to Lanier for their last drift show, and my car is as rigid as can be now. We braced the
Yep.
rear end, welded everything up, and I got my 01 Mustang GT
Are
for
you
anyone
are you
watching.
spooled? Is the rear
That's
spooled?
just welded. Just
oh,
welded.
just welded
Just
diff.
welded, real good.
Okay.
Real good.
Yep.
But that
Could you
thing,
say that once more, real good?
real good.
All right, there you go. Love that.
Welded real good.
Real good.
You gotta
But
be
it's
welded. You gotta
I
be
was running some just cheapy tires just to throw on there just to get preserve
Yep.
And that car now is so solid. That thing was like on ice. He was chasing me, and there was 3 incidences where I'm glad he was behind me because the car was like it was on ice. So you do want to have them dialed in, but I kind of like my car like that because I like being able to like when I go into a burnout pit, my car 360 and spin out real easy. So
Yep.
it's like. My car's not so much a drift car. I call it's like a party car.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's like – you do want to have some grip to answer your question, yes. If you're going to do some real drifting, you can't just have, 800 horsepower.
And
You want
Tom did hit something earlier. Seat time. Seat time is crucial.
Oh, yeah. No one's
on
born a
anything.
good driver.
Drifting, seat time. Burnout contest,
Yeah.
seat time. Getting close to those walls, getting your proximity right. So.
For sure.
It takes time, and then that's,
And there's also next level stuff, Eric. So, when you're in a burnout comp, you need to know which way the wind is blowing.
oh, yeah.
Because if you go into the tip and you
I
tip
tell
to
them that all the time.
if you tip to the left, right, and the wind is blowing at your back when you're coming out of it, you got a problem. You know what I mean? If you get engulfed in that smoke or you get up to a wall, I've done it several times. I'm probably the worst at it all. I'll check the wind. Again, my truck doesn't necessarily go where I want it to right now. We're working on that at BAM Performance down in West Milford, New Jersey, where my truck was originally an airbag truck. It was a show truck. It was just something really cool that I would use for promotional services or purposes. And now we want to do pro level burnouts, and I have to get that sway out of there. So we're ripping all the bags out and ripping out all the cool stuff that was built for that. To get it to go where I want it to go. I'm even though I don't ever want to win. I don't need to be a part of the competition. I'm here to just promote my brand, promote brands like yours, and just promote the name out there.
Right.
And
But,
bottom line,
but I'd
put
still
on a good show for the crowd.
put on a good
Absolutely.
show for the crowd. And part of putting on a good show for the crowd is getting the truck to go where I want it to go.
For sure.
And that is time, effort, and money. We went to Whiskey Throttle Fair. I think that the prize was like $1,500, or like it was something. It probably really wasn't worth driving the 6 hours that the entire team went to, but that just started in a very simple group chat. It was like a Wednesday, and we have a group chat with just the drivers. And on Wednesday, it was like, hey, there's a burnout competition in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Next answer. Where's Greensburg? Hold on. Click, 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 click. Oh, it's 6 hours away. What's everybody doing this weekend? And then they start to come in. I'm in. Oh, what, you're going? I'm in. Oh, you're going? I'm in. Now all of a sudden there's 8 of us out there at this phenomenal tattoo convention, car show. They had Buck Cherry playing like Saturday night. And they had a huge, like a bar that was in like a 2,500 square foot building. Like it was off the chain, cool, old school tattoo show. They had a big barn with probably like 30 tattoo artists in there. Really cool vibe between the motorcycles, the car show, the Burnout competition. And before I called him when all the guys were on board, I said, all right, they said, there's no way to sign up. Could we find out if we get out there? I called the promoter, and he says to me, I said, damn, Burnout Nationals, I probably got like 8 or 10 guys coming out, you know what I mean? Is there room for us? And he says, Tommy, I have 2 guys signed up. Oh. Like, if you guys come out, you're going to save me because I don't have anybody. And I said, well, we're coming. Done. I called the team. I said, we're going. And we went out there. We all bought 3 sets of tires, you know what I mean? Because all we want to do, again,
have fun.
$1,500 or whatever that prize money wasn't even close to the Airbnb, the food, the travel, you know what I mean? All the tires that we brought to blow
Right.
off. We're not there to make money. We're there to have fun. Now, every once in a while, if you get a check, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's great.
Yeah,
It
nobody's
goes,
gonna.
right, it goes right back into the vehicle.
It goes right
Yeah.
back into the vehicle.
Literally.
I just want to shout out, if you don't mind. I just started a company called Colored Tires USA. So now,
cool.
So the only couple of places you can get colored tires in the world is Europe and from Australia. And with the tariffs and everything that's coming on now and the shipping fees, it costs you a little more, to get those tires from Australia. I was able to source a place out in Europe, so now I'm trying to get those tires to the people in the drifting community, into the Burnout community. So if you're on the East Coast, it would probably be cost effective for you to get them from me, and if you're on the West Coast, it would maybe be cost effective to get them from them.
I'm gonna need a red and blue one
Yep.
this year, later on this year.
So we have 15s, 17s, and 18s.
Ooh.
Yeah, just make sure you
Ooh.
bring an extra set to every Gushi Burnout con, because I'll take them.
Quite frankly, Gush, what I'm talking with Eric, and if it's okay, I'll say it on the podcast here. Looks like you guys might be actually distributing those here through a partnership that myself and Eric are going to have
Perfect.
with those tires right here at the Drift Pit. So
Perfect.
I think my next container of tires is going to come right here.
We gotta do a photo shoot.
You guys are going to have them on the ground, and people will be able to buy them at your drift events every Thursday.
So that's perfect for your gender reveal or whatever, your special
Yeah.
occasion where
Yeah.
you're going to do some fun with some automotive.
So
Yeah,
I
those
think-
tires are gonna fly out the door. I can already see it.
For sure. And we're doing, right now we have pink and blue, right? Because we
Perfect.
thought of the gender reveal, and we figured let's start with this to see where the brand is going to go.
Absolutely.
And a couple of guys want me to add some yellows. I want to really use the vibrant colors. I found like the greens aren't great. There's just
Right.
they make a red. The red isn't nearly as vibrant as the pink. So I want the stuff that's going to really look good on film.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to try to limit those colors of what we import and kind of how we do that.
Well, you got to be strategic. That's business. That's everything. People forget that. I'm sure you have a million people on Facebook message you, and we love it. We appreciate it. But everyone's got that eureka idea, and there's a lot that goes into doing an event or doing a show or doing something. It's not about getting rich, but you can only do so many of these a year. You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
I've limited
business.
I've limited our shows in New York because I'm happy to come up and support you guys. So now I'm only we give away 20 grand in the spring and 20 grand in the fall.
Awesome.
Working with you guys and Eric, we've made those dates either a week before your event or a week after your event. So when people are traveling from Texas or Australia, or they're traveling from Virginia or South Carolina or Florida, we had, it brings up a good point, we had 18 states that were represented at the Burnout Nationals closer this year. And we could track that through our ticketing
look at
app.
this. Paul brought up the Burnout Nationals stepping in and out of madness tour
Yes, sir.
2026.
Stepping in and out of madness is how I feel in and after every event.
That is very true.
There's a
That's
little
awesome.
bit, like getting there, getting the group together, getting the team on board, getting the Airbnbs. And again, I've learned, like I say, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like everything to be perfect. I'll set up for excellence. I'm to the point in the brand's, growth where my daughter is almost my personal assistant at this point. She's handling, my daughter Paige, she's handling all of our hotel bookings. She's handling the flights. She's handling, a little bit of the, the setup of the show. We have to do that. You have to be able to delegate, and Eric, you can attest to this. You have to be able to delegate authority to certain people and then let them do whatever they need to do without trying to get involved, right? I mean, I think it's a key to success,
Yes.
So, and that's why Randy's our PR guy now. We have guys in from Australia or Virginia or wherever that is. Randy's the guy that's going to take care of them, make sure they get what they need, make sure they know where to stay and where they can go to dinner, and if they need a place to stay, we're going to try to facilitate that for them.
Absolutely.
Because they're spending a lot of money to come to our place.
Randy's a great choice because he's always answered the phone for us. Late at night, he's always helped us get in our parking spots.
Oh yeah,
Great guy.
absolutely. Yeah.
Let me
Randy.
sleep in his trailer after that
So
fiasco.
anybody out there that's going to watch this, call us if there's any questions. We want you to come out. We want you to have a good experience with us.
Yeah.
And the young,
100%.
and the young drivers, we want you to have the horsepower that we get. So we know all the tricks. Randy's Blazer is a perfect example, right? Randy's Blazer was basically duct taped together. But that kid was able to get like 320 horsepower out of that truck, and it ran like it had 1,000. Only because of his driving skill and how he was able to swing that thing around and whip it around. But even to get to that point, he knows all the little tricks of the trade, and he's happy to share them with anybody.
Absolutely.
You come up to him, he's going to tell you, well, I did when I had no money, this is what I did. And then I stepped it up when I got a little bit. Like where would you spend $500? You know what I mean? Like if I had $500 and I wanted more horsepower, where would I be able to get that? Randy would be your guy to say, hey.
And he'll never say no to a ride. Tell you that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
and
I gotta
he got vertigo from the ride in the back of your car down in
did
Florida
he?
too.
Good.
Yeah, he said never again. He said.
I was about to say I'm a little fast out there.
Yeah, I got you. All good. But so we want the sport to grow.
Absolutely.
Giving out delegation in the brand now that we're really starting to grow. I mean, we have these shirts, if you don't know us or you do know us.
Yeah, before we wrap this up, where can people find you? Where can they buy the merch to support you? And you got some excellent merch. You're going to be showing us some ropes here hopefully soon. But where can they find and support Burnout Nationals USA?
So burnoutnationals.com is where you can go for Colored Tires USA. So if you want your colored tires, you can go right to burnoutnationals.com. There's a drop down. You click on Colored Tires USA. Once that comes down, it's going to show you the sizes that we have, the amount that those tires are, and those are free shipped, right? So you can then DM us for what sizes you need. We want to make sure the fitment is correct before we send them to you, and then we can send out those tires. That also has I want to say we have 38 different designs of merch now.
Yep.
Between the hats and the different designs, and whether you can get it on a hoodie, and whether that hoodie is camouflage or black or orange or whatever colors that we're doing at this time. All of that is at burnoutnationals.com. Obviously, we have Burnout Nationals TikTok. We have Burnout Nationals at Instagram, and we have a Burnout Nationals page on Facebook. Page, the TikTok is Burnout Nationals Official. Burnout Nationals Official. So, we just we've gone through, with our growth, we've gone through probably 4 or 5 media teams.
Oh, yeah, man.
Happens.
That's a part of growing, Like I said, not every business relationship is a perfect one. That's just the nice way to put it.
Yes.
But some people just don't mesh and don't vibe or don't work at all,
Yes.
so you just send them on their way.
And then because we went through so many, we had to hack into our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
Where we had a ton of followers, and then we had to restart at 0. So we're trying to build all that social media with Paul Fox's help and Eric's help here, and even your help, Steve and Gush. We appreciate everything you guys do for us, because again, we truly believe that together, Burnout Nationals and Big Indian Motorsports together. There's nothing that can stop us. We're going to take over the world.
Literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming down here, man.
And fellow New Yorkers.
Absolutely.
New Yorkers,
Out of
baby.
all the melting pot, out of all the people around the world we work with, New Yorkers makes sense.
Honestly,
we're awesome. It makes
What
sense.
are we, roughly 6 hours away from?
Each other, I wouldn't want it no other way, honestly. It's a great mashup between all of us. It's gonna be something for the years to come.
And we're built a little different up here in New York.
Definitely built different.
And the energy that he puts out really drives
yeah.
us doing it.
Good
you know,
vibe.
It makes us excited to
Yeah.
be there.
100%.
So we got big things happening, guys. We're doing a couple. You guys are going to do all of our live streams. So you'll be at our place the week before your show in May. You're going to do our Jack's Truckiano show, which is down in Georgia, and I believe that's March 28th. We'd love for you guys to travel with us down to Summer Nats USA. Not sure if that's on your schedule or on your radar yet, but
Even if we go down there just to spectate, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
what
just
the-
to hang out and
wait a-
support
We'll see how the
crew.
cars survive.
wait a
different
minute,
events.
spectate. You're not spectating anything. We're building,
I know I could just get in the ramp van. I think that's all we need.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, without question. So at the end of the day, myself, Randy, Billy, Dave Schaller, Jacob, Michael, and Richie we're building 6 blower cars this year. So so with our deal with Speedmaster, we've committed to building 6 blower cars. I don't have an end date on those cars. What I'm doing is I am pushing to unveil the Stepping In and Out of Madness tour, our first stop, Summer Nats USA. We're looking to unveil all 6 of those blower cars.
Ooh,
So
you're gonna be a busy guy.
we might have some extra wheels to be spun, and if you guys are there and just an aspect of coming to spectate, we'd love to have you. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yep, for sure.
He just picked up another Burnout toy that I don't know when this video is going to drop, but it's going to be a little bit of a fun turbo ride that we're going to be playing with soon. So always look out for us, Big Indy Motorsports on Instagram. That's us, Big Indy Motorsports. And then, of course, Big Indy Drift Pit is the track, only the track. We keep them separate, Goosh.
Yeah, we got to keep them separate. There's a lot going on between all of us, so make sure you're following along and make sure you're having a good time and keep an eye out for these burnouts, guys.
Yes, sir.
And I can't thank Tommy enough for coming out, spending some time with us. Looking around what we have going on, bringing Paige out. So they understand where we are at in this. And we
100%.
We want to be
Listen,
some good
but
partners.
I think both of our brands, even though I've been around a couple of years and you guys have been around a couple of years now, I think that we're both very much in the infancy of the stages of these 2 brands. And sky's the limit, boys. And the foot's on the
Yes,
gas,
sir.
and we're not letting up. So
Nope.
Hell yeah,
Excited.
baby.
Yep.
Cheers, my friend.
Excellent.
See you guys.
Peace.